Hey everybody, welcome back to Brent's Backyard Redneckery. Today, what we're going to try and do is make some wild grape jam. Now from what I can remember, last year I made jelly. This year I want to try and make jam. And to do that, we need to get the seeds out of these wild grapes. And usually the wild grapes have 2, sometimes 3 seeds in them, and they're only about the size of a pea. So I was trying to think, how am I going to do this to get all the pulp? I could try and put it through a food mill, but I don't have one. All right, so how about a fine mesh strainer? I've tried that and that didn't work. Then I remembered last time I tried something like this, I used screen from a screen door. I went out and bought a roll of that and it worked great. But I wasn't able to get down to Lowe's and buy some of that. So I've taken one of these, a sink strainer. Not fine mesh, but it is mesh. So we're going to try and press my grapes through this to get our pulp. So get ready. I'll tell you what you need to do. So I've already used my smasher and smashed these things up. But now what we're going to do is take them out and we're going to put these in our sink strainer and see if we can't get just the pulp like that. See, there's the seeds. I'm hoping to get just the pulp and just the juice out of that. So let's get this thing set up and see what we can do. I'm going to try a couple different methods here and see which one of these works. What I'm going to do is grab out a little glob of this crap. I'll slam it down in there. Oh, that ain't working. Try this thing. There we go. That'll work. Beautiful. Put the strainer over top of a big freaking mug. And I'm just pressing that goop through there. And we're getting out what we want. I'll just keep pressing this and pressing this until I've got as much out of it as I can. And then we'll see what's left over. Hey, I'm pretty impressed by that. Didn't think it would work, but hey, redneck way. I've pressed everything through the one time. Looks like I might have about 3/4 of a cup. This is what we've got left over here. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my fine mesh, the remnants there, and see if I can get actually any more goop. And then once that's done, we'll move on to the next step. Probably going to have to add a little bit of water to bring it up to the level that I need. Add our sugar, our pectin, make our jelly. Jam. Yeah, jam. All right, so after going back through it again, we've got almost right at a cup. And what we'll do is we're going to put it in our 4-cup container here. And the next step, after dumping this in there, I'm going to scrape it all out. So there you can see what that actually looks like. And then after I'm done with that, is I'm going to take the remainder of this and put it into a wine cloth bag and dip it in the amount of water that I need and let it soak. And then that's what I'll use rather than just adding water to it. We'll use the leftover juice from our throwaway stuff. Can't think of what it's called. Leavings? That's not right because I think that's poo. So since I need to get this up to 4 cups, I've added water to this bit of must, and I'm just going to put it on a simmer for probably 10-15 minutes so I can get that all the juices I possibly can out of this and add it to that, and then we'll make jam. We're going to have 6 cups of sugar, and then for our pectin, it's going to be 4.5 tablespoons. I'm going to take my pectin and mix it in with my sugar so that everything blends together and it doesn't get all clumpy. I'm going to get that mixed up and we'll mix it in with our beautiful, delicious wild grape fruity yumminess. All right, with this little bit of grape that's left over in here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I mash this to squeeze out as much juice as I can. So that'll mix in really well with the other pulp that we have here. So just going to let that cook a little bit longer and then we'll pick it up, strain it out, put it all in the pot and start cooking. All right, so our simmer has been going here for about 15 minutes. Take this and squeeze out a little bit more into the pot. I'll just give this a little bit of a squeeze and then we'll pour the rest in here. All right, beautiful. All right, I was able to squeeze out just a wee bit more juice from that bag. Not a whole lot, but enough. And there's our pulp and juice. There's still a little bit of fruit in it, so it's going to be a nice jam. As soon as it gets to a boil, and we're going to drop in the sugar and stir it back up. All right, we just got up to a boil. Now we're going to stir in our sugar and our pectin and get that mixed together really good. And bring it back to a boil and get it rolling. And then we'll be having our wild grape jam. All right, we're up to almost our rolling boil. We've got a lot of bubbling going on in there, so I'm going to toss in a couple tablespoons of butter to help reduce that. We're on a rolling boil. Turn this down just a little bit. Make sure you constantly stir this though, because you don't want it sticking to the bottom or sticking to the sides or getting overheated, because then it won't be good jelly. It'll be throwaway for all your hard work. I'm going to let this finish up and then I'll put it in our jars. All right, we've cooked it another couple minutes here. It's sticking nicely, so we're going to go ahead and put this in jars. When you fill these babies up, you got to leave a little bit of headspace for breathing room. So you want to fill it up when you're looking at one of these about midway up that ring, because that's going to leave you just about the right amount right there. So that'll be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these filled up. We'll see how it looks. All right, so I've got all these filled up. The next thing you want to do is make sure you wipe off the rim of these in case you got any jelly on there. That way these will seal up. And I've got all my lids in this pot behind me. So I'll just get all those out and get these sealed up. We'll move on to the water bath. All right, so whenever you get your water, your best bet is to pour in hot water because it boils a whole lot quicker. Make sure whenever you fill this up that you fill it up to where it's about an inch above those lids, and then turn it on high to get it up to boiling. Once it reaches your boil, we'll run it for 10 minutes and then turn off the burner. All you have left here for your final step is to pull out your jars, set them on your towel, let them sit overnight, and then you can check them for sealing and see how everything's gelled up. All right, so the jelly's set up overnight. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. And as you can see, when I tilt the jar, it doesn't run. So it's set just the way I want it. All right, that wraps up another episode of Brent's Backyard Redneckery. So if you guys have learned anything from this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If it's a recipe you want to try, I'm going to leave it in the description and you can do it yourself. Trust me, you're going to love this jam. Until next time, you guys stay safe. Come back again. I'll tell you what you need to do. Y'all have a good one.